moment. Jai Vaisheshika Prabhu ki. Jai! Haribo. Don't mind, I'm getting an early start here. We just came a few minutes before you. Has to catch his breath here.
Sorry, Maharaj, we were at a program. And
No,
we thought we were coming at 3:30. I'd like to personally welcome His Holiness Bhakti Raghava Swami, who's a very dear friend of mine and a god brother. He's been a stalwart in the Krishna consciousness movement since the early days and has taken up a portion of Prabhupada's vision to establish self-sustaining farms and cow protection and also villages, which are the mainstay of society, as well as being one of the staunch spiritual leaders of the Krishna conscious movement. We were just together this morning on a Zoom call, international Zoom call, and it brings to mind that Mars is one of the great champions of book distribution in our Krishna conscious movement. He very specifically promotes the distribution of Prabhupada's books and Srimad Bhagavatam's in particular. He was the inaugurator, the one who conceived the idea of placing sets of Bhagavatams in small villages in India, because he's a champion of the small villages in India where he goes one after another in order to help them sustain their culture and develop it. So we're very gratified to have you here, Marj. Thank you very much for visiting our little Silicon Valley temple. And please, everyone, I know you probably already did once, but please, just for me, give another warm welcome to His Holiness Bhakti Raghava Swami. Thank you.
We do have an enthusiastic crowd, definitely. Thank you all very much. So let's get into our program. We have at least one or two devotees playing kartals in addition. Yeah, there you go. Fine. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Gana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Gana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Gamulatira Banakari Yamuna Tira Vanankari Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopidana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Namanakira Manantari Yamuna Tira Vanankari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Shipra Paramahamsa Pri Vrajgashaja Stotra Satta Sri Simad His Divine Grace Thirabhai Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandibiti Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhaktivrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jaini Thai Gaur Bhimanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Taksurindalitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'd like to request everyone to kindly fold your hands and repeat after me the following two short mantras. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Surabhyay Namaha. Om Surabhyay Namaha. Om Surabhyay Namaha. Mukham karoti vasaram pangum langayate girim Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. So it is my great privilege, honor, and pleasure to be here today with all of you. At the heart of the Bhadra campaign. It is pulsing from here. And as Vaisheshika Prabhu was mentioning a few minutes ago, or possibly our Sri Krishna Purushottam Prabhu, I'm kind of winding up a 3-month tour in different places, trying to promote, our Krishna consciousness movement has so many wonderful facets or aspects. And I was just thinking how, as Prabhupada would explain, there are two especially solid programs that all of us need to be connected with somehow or other. We could call those like two mainstream programs that Prabhupada spoke about. Prabhupada actually explained that if you want to invest in something that will be long-lasting, that will be for the future, that will actually help firmly establish this Krishna consciousness movement, there's two things. One, books. Especially of all the literatures, the Srimad Bhagavatam is the king and the most important literature that Srila Vyasadeva, as we know, has given, especially for this age of Kali Yuga, and which also are Vaishnavacharyas, isn't it? culminating with our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, have focused on when we consider, and we should always remember, how Srila Prabhupada's purports are filled with so many commentaries from various Vaishnava Acharyas. And that's one of many reasons why Srila Prabhupada's purports of the Srimad Bhagavatam especially are so powerful and so important. We are getting the mercy and the blessing and the benefit of the realizations of all of these great personalities, in addition to Srila Prabhupada's own realizations as well. And as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, and I'm sure you've heard this as well, these transcendental literatures, actually the Srimad Bhagavatam is Srila Prabhupada's masterwork, isn't it? For which he gave his entire life, beginning in the when he was still in Vrindavan Dham. And Srila Prabhupada reminded us or explained to us that these transcendental literatures will be the guiding light, will serve as the guiding light for the next 10,000 years on this planet. We are in the middle of a great, and we need to remind ourselves, we need to understand this more and more, of a great, we could say, revival. Unfortunately, society has been on a very misguided path for the last, especially, it's only been actually the last 200 years since the days of the Industrial Revolution and the French Revolution in Europe. If we study a little bit of history, we can find out how this deviation has come about. And it is with the advent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his teachings and our Vaishnava Acharyas, again culminating in our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, that we are able to get the proper knowledge and understanding of how to redirect society, how to save so many countless conditioned souls in this Kali Yuga who are just due to lack of proper knowledge and understanding. So this Bhadra campaign is most important. I was very, very inspired actually. I was very pleased to be part of this exchange that took place this morning, that was headed up by Sheshika Prabhu, bringing everyone up to date as to what is taking place. And I definitely want to encourage everyone here and whoever may be listening to get behind this campaign. There's only, I believe, 19 days is what you mentioned left for the Bhadra Purnima to make its appearance. So this is one extremely important and most solid program that was, our whole movement is based on book distribution, isn't it, from the very beginning. And the second program, which is also extremely important, and in a similar way that Vaisheshika Prabhu and so many of you who are part of this team and so many others in other parts of the world are part of this very important team to promote Prabhupada's literatures, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam. The second most important program, if somebody really wants to invest, Prabhupada is explaining, it is land. And it's very interesting. I'll explain something to you which I only kind of came to know about when I was doing my research in India in the last few years, a doctoral research actually on Vedic sociology. Very interesting topic actually. And I came across a very important quote, an explanation given by one of our foremost Mahajanas, grandfather Bhishma Dev. We should always listen to our grandfathers, especially from Vedic culture. Elderly persons, grandfathers, are filled with wisdom, knowledge, and life experience. So in the Mahabharata, grandfather Bhishma Dev explains how the Lord has given to humanity 3 gifts of nature. And I hadn't really thought about it until this morning that 2 of those 3 gifts of nature, I'll mention what they are in a few seconds. Just keep you in suspense a little bit. 2 of these gifts of nature have to do directly with what all of you are doing, all those involved in this Bhadra campaign. And the other one has to do with what Srila Prabhupada referred to as 50% of his unfulfilled mission, which was to establish self-sufficient communities. So therefore, it means land. So what are those 3 gifts of nature? If we know about these 3 gifts of nature, if we know how to properly care for them, it's just like if somebody gives you a gift, especially a very precious gift, you take care of it, you protect it. So these 3 gifts of nature, if they are properly cared for, will give to humanity all that is needed so that we can be meeting all of our necessities of life very easily. Our physical needs, because we are here in the material world, we have a physical body, we have basic physical needs. Our emotional needs, our social needs, as well as our spiritual needs. And it all begins actually the first, and I'm giving them in the order spoken by grandfather Bhishma Dev. The first gift of nature is mother cow. Actually, all 3 of them are mothers. Mother cow. Gava pratista bhutanam. All living entities, not only us as human beings, all living entities on the planet, they subsist. They can only properly exist with or by the presence of mother cow. That's a whole major topic in itself. The second gift of nature, which is mother, I mentioned a few seconds ago, is land, isn't it? Land. And that is why our Vedic culture is an agrarian culture. And we tend to forget this, especially if we have been born in a city or have been raised in modern day cities, where in modern day society there is more and more emphasis on, moving people actually from the villages to the cities, which is actually not in keeping with dharma. So cows, land, and the third, which is directly touching transcendental literatures, is knowledge. Cows, Mother Surabhi. The Surabhi cow is the original cow in the spiritual world. All the cows everywhere in the universe are coming from this original Mother Surabhi. And then land, agriculture, village life. And I chose a short text actually from the 10th canto, which, we read various books by Srila Prabhupada, and we always discover new aspects or new things. And this particular verse, I'll just come back to this in a few minutes. So, the third, the cultivation of knowledge is directly connected with the king of all Vedic literatures, which is every day when giving the Bhagavatam, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, it is not just a book, it is a Grantha, scripture, and it is the king of all transcendental literatures. So these are mothers, Mother Cow, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning. So mothers are absolutely essential, isn't it, in our lives. Children without the care, love, and affection of their mother, they cannot grow properly. So these three mothers are what nurtures, where they're meant to nurture every single living entity, so that all of our different needs and necessities of life are met. I always like to quote one verse from another of our Mahajans, Srila Narada Muni, when he explained in the 7th canto of the Bhagavatam, in reference to the question being asked, that was asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj. He explains how Dharma Mulam hi Bhagavan Sarva Veda Mayo Harihi Smritam Shatabidam Rajan Yena Chatma Prasidati. That the essence of Vedas, essence of Vedic knowledge is to know Bhagavan. Dharma Mulam hi Bhagavan Sarva Veda Mayo Harihi. All of the Vedic literatures, they point in that same direction towards knowing and understanding Hari. And Smritam cha tavidam rajam. Those who are actually serious about properly utilizing this human form of life, Smriti, they will endeavor every day to remember why I'm living, what is the purpose of life. And the best way, of course, is by hearing on a regular basis and putting into practice the philosophy. And if we do this, Smritam Chata Vidambarazam, Yena Chatma Prasidati, all of our necessities of life will be very nicely met. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada has given us all of this knowledge. He has given us this mandate of inundating the entire world with this knowledge. So these two aspects are interconnected in terms of proper knowledge, proper spiritual knowledge, and also proper material knowledge. I've been stressing especially this aspect that Prabhupada refers to often of spiritual swadharma. We all, in the Krishna consciousness movement, we are quite familiar, we are more familiar, I would say, with this dimension or aspect of spiritual swadharma, which is, of course, to awaken our dormant love of God by the process of bhakti, devotional service, isn't it? Ajivera Saru Hoy Krishna Nityadas. But there's also this other dimension which is very much, I would say, extremely neglected in modern day society, which has to do with what is meant to be the way in which we live as explained in the Shastra. What is meant to be actually the prescribed duties for mankind. Again, Narada Muni speaks about this. Those are nicely explained in those 5 chapters, and I highly recommend all the devotees, to especially householders, to read and to study these 5 chapters as spoken by Narada Muni. Srila Prabhupada explains how one who is fortunate to have attained a human form of life needs to develop these 30 qualities of a human being. And those 30 qualities begin with what we know as the 4 pillars of Dharma. Satyam, Daya, Tapa, Saucham, isn't it? Truthfulness, mercy, compassion, discipline or austerity, and Saucham, purity, cleanliness. So this Krishna consciousness movement, which has been given to us by our founder Acharya, is actually, and Prabhupada would often remind us, this is the most important movement, most important mission. We should feel ourselves part of this mission. Actually, our whole lives should be connected and very much focused on how to help Srila Prabhupada fulfill this mission. We will automatically fulfill the mission of life if we focus on the mission of our acharyas. Because they are totally focused on the mission of the Lord. The Lord comes in the material world to actually re-establish. Dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Every single day, because devotees are going out preaching, and especially because devotees are distributing these transcendental literatures, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are miracles taking place. Miracles. Devotees believe in miracles. Those within the Krishna consciousness movement, usually that's, I would say, especially sannyasis whose mandate or whose responsibility or dharma is especially to travel. But not only sannyasis, we have many householders who also are very active in preaching. We get to meet so many different people and to see so many wonderful changes that are actually taking place. Sometimes it's difficult for us to understand that Kali Yuga on one side is progressing at an continuous accelerating pace, and sometimes we wonder, my God, where it will all end. But we should know that simultaneously this mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this mission of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada is also progressing. I was recently leaving the Czech Republic, and I stopped in one village, a small village, maybe 100, only 100 people. I mean, that's a small village. Some few devotees were living in that village, and then I was very happy to know that due to the presence of devotees, the mayor of that village actually was a devotee. I had known before when I was visiting in Hungary, Krishna Valley, under His Holiness Sivarama Maharaj. So in Krishna Valley in itself, there are over 150 devotees, and they're part of a larger village where there's another 150 devotees in that village. And because of the presence of devotees, 2 of the 4 council members of that village are also devotees. So there are many, we are beginning to see signs, very positive signs, Krishna conscious signs, where devotees and Krishna consciousness is making some inroads, and that naturally is meant to continue. We don't always see, as a matter of fact, the majority of the results of whatever preaching activities we may be involved in, we don't see 95%. or maybe 99%. There's so many things that are taking place by Krishna's mercy, by Krishna's arrangement, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy as well. So it is very encouraging. I was sharing very briefly this morning with Vaisheshika Prabhu during this Zoom call that this year for me, this year 2023, is especially significant because probably around this time, month of September, pretty well to the month, for the first time, I stepped in a Hare Krishna temple in Ottawa. And on that same day, in a lecture being given in the temple, for the first time, I heard about Srimad Bhagavatam. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Meki. I remember I knew about the Bhagavad Gita. I had, probably like many Westerners who were a little bit curious, I had received another edition of the Bhagavad Gita, right? Prabhupada explains there. At that time, 700 versions or translations of the Bhagavad Gita. And I had did a little bit of research and I had ordered one Bhagavad Gita. It was a Penguin edition. So I knew a little bit about Bhagavad Gita before going to the temple, but I never heard about Srimad Bhagavatam. And to me, the devotee who was giving the lecture, he was the temple president, Dhar Maharaj, his name. And the way he explained about the Bhagavatam, it was like a revelation, like the Bhagavad Gita for those who've never come in contact, especially from the Western country, is like, wow, this type of knowledge, these kind of books have been around, since time immemorial, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam is eternal knowledge, isn't it? And therefore, all of the information that we find in the Bhagavatam just opens up a completely new dimension of life. And I remember I was, at that time, that was, 73, so I think just a few cantos were translated. But Bhagavatam, for me, and I'm sure for many of us, for many devotees, remains the, I would say, inspirational literature where Srila Prabhupada writes amazing purports. And I want to share this since I was mentioning earlier, this text number 37. I have to keep track of the time here. It's a very short purport, and I'll put it in context here. It's connected with education. Actually, it's connected with two of the Vedic sciences that make up a Vedic culture. Vedic culture is based on 4 sciences. And I'm especially concentrating, trying to promote what Prabhupada spoke about and wanted us to establish many, many years ago in the context of Varnashrama Dharma. He wanted that every center have a Varnashram college. Our whole movement actually is not just a spiritual movement, but it is very much an educational movement. It is a cultural movement. It is a social movement meant to bring about social changes within society, isn't it? So the 10th canto is very important for us to read, not just because it has, most confidential knowledge described Krishna's pastimes with the gopis and the Rasa Leela, but also because we can get a glimpse, we can get actual understanding of the very sciences upon which Vedic culture is based upon. And the two that will come or become obvious as I read this text, number one is the science of education and the science of economics. The four sciences are summarized in a book called Kautilya Arthashastra by Chanakya Pandit. And the first is actually the science of philosophy, Anvikshiki. Second science is Trayi, the science of education. The third is Dandaniti, the science of politics. And the fourth is Varta, the science of economics. And these four actually constitute a proper society that is known in the Vedic culture as Varnashrama Dharma. And I'll properly explain how one of the purposes of our society is to bring about a complete overhaul in society and to revert to the established system of Varna and Ashrama. And this can only come about by hearing, reading, studying, and living this philosophy that is presented in the Bhagavatam. So I'll just read the text and the purport. The context is that Krishna, Nanda Maharaj has recently moved to Vrindavan from Gokul because too many dangers there. And Krishna is growing up and becoming a small boy. And he's reaching the age, I'll just read the text here, 37. In this way, Krishna and Balaram, acting like small boys and talking in half-broken language, gave transcendental pleasure to all the inhabitants of Braja. In due course of time, they became old enough to take care of the calves. Right? And the purport. As soon as Krishna and Balaram were a little grown up, they were meant for taking care of the calves. Although born of a very well-to-do family, they still had to take care of the calves. This was the system of education. Those who were not born in Brahmana families were not meant for academic education. The Brahmanas were trained in a literary academic education. The Kshatriyas were trained to take care of the state, and the Vaishyas learned how to cultivate the land and take care of the cows and calves. There was no need to waste time going to school to be falsely educated and later increase the numbers of the unemployed. No additional comments on this one. Krishna and Balaram taught us by their personal behavior. Krishna took care of the cows and played his flute, and Balaram took care of agricultural activities with a plow in his hand. There's a lot in this purport. Really a lot. And the topic of education is most important. Prabhupada, as I mentioned, wanted that all of our centers be educational centers where we come, we hear, discuss, study, and then we need to take this to that level of actually living this philosophy. So part of that living the philosophy is to help re-establish this agrarian culture. As you know, it practically sounds like an impossible task, you know, because modern day society is just increasingly becoming urbanized, isn't it? Even our villages are becoming urbanized. But our goal, so that's why, where is the Krishna Prashtaram? You have that? Yeah, there's a short video actually that we couldn't show fully this morning, whereby Sri Ram Prabhu, who is overseeing a lot of the preaching in terms of the Bhadra campaign, putting full sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. I've gone to villages where they are actually reading daily daily reading for an hour and a half, Srimad Bhagavatam, and their lives are changing, because in many places in India, and I'm sure it's not only in India, I've seen it personally as well, there's a huge alcohol problem. There's so many problems, but that's one of the prominent problems. And people, when they come in contact with the holy name and with these transcendental literatures, their lives are becoming transformed. Maybe we can finish with that. Yeah. You have it or don't have it? Oh, there it is, yeah. So, one person is speaking in Telugu, and Sri Ram Prabhu is going to be translating, I believe. Is it?
It's in Telangana. Actually, we have visited
Hare Krishna. Before it plays, we can pause. So I just want to give a context, as Vaisheshika Prabhu have this campaign of Bhadra Purnima. From many years we are placing sets of Srimad Bhagavatam into villages, and this village is in Telangana, and we have to do follow-up. Once we place the Bhagavatam, Vaisheshika Prabhu always encourages to do the follow-up. So first Maharaj went to this village and talked to the village head that we have this Srimad Bhagavatam and he would like to. So villages, they don't have one school, maybe they have library or not. So what we do is we put Bhagavatams in the schools, and all the school people and the school children and teachers. In this context, every evening, the village people, they get together for 1.5 hours, they are reading Bhagavatam. So there is lot of Telugu in the between. So we will skip that Maharaj and then play the translation. So, Hare Krishna.
Not everyone understands Telugu.
It's in Telangana. Actually, we have distributed Srimad Bhagavatam set during Bhadra Purnima in this village. Now we are distributing Jyotirlingams. We want to check after receiving Bhagavatam set what they have read so far. ఇక్కడ మీకు లాస్ట్
ఇక్కడ మీకు 1.5 year అయింది.
ఎంత సేపు చదువుతారు ఇక్కడ భాగవతం సెట్ ఇక్కడ
ఇంకానే ఉంది.
ఎన్ని గంటలు చదువుతారు?
1 గంటన్నర
రోజు.
every day they read 1.5 hours Bhagavatam in this temple. So very oldest temple of last year.
ఎంతవరకు అయినా ఎందుకు భాగవతం?
ఇప్పటికీ దశమ స్కందం 2వ భాగం ఉంది.
They are reading 10th canto, second part.
అయిపోయిందా రెండో స్కందం?
కాలేదు. 37వ అధ్యాయం వస్తుంది.
ఎట్లా మీ అనుభూతి ఎలా ఉంది?
అయితే ఇక్కడ మేము ఫస్ట్ భగవద్గీత చదువుతుంటుంది. దాని తర్వాత మాకు వచ్చి ఇస్కాన్ నుంచి వచ్చి మాకు ఏషియాతో ఇచ్చేసి పిల్లలు ఆస్తినంతా దారదత్త చేసిందని చెప్పి ఇది చేస్తే నారాయణ అనే పేరు పెట్టడం వల్ల నారాయణ అనే పేరు.
So we are just dragging the Telugu part of it.
నేను రక్షిస్తామని చెప్పి ఆయనకు రక్షించి విష్ణులోకి తీసుకోండి, వైకుంఠం తీసుకోండి. అయితే వీళ్ళు పోయి యముడి మీద దాడి చేసి మీరు నాకు పంపిస్తున్నందుకు ఆయన రానియకపోతే అంటే యముడు చెప్పాడు ఆయన ఫస్ట్ విష్ణు భక్తుడు కాబట్టి ఆయన విష్ణులోకంగా పోవాలి.
So I can tell the essence since I am Telugu. So what he is mentioning is that every day they are reading for 1.5 hours Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, this set went from ISV. Just give big Haribol for that. So he is mentioning they are reading 10th canto of 10th canto, second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So and they read about Ajamil story, and they are saying that, and now in this village, at least there are 8 or 9 families is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So So they are saving tremendous progress, and as Vaisheshika Prabhu emphasized, even in the villages in Gujarat, when Krishna Saka Prabhu showed one video. So these Bhagavatams have more impact. That's why people will have a lot of questions. So we get Lakshmi for Bhagavatams. So Bhagavatams are going to right places. As Maharaj mentioned, Maharaj personally went to 108 villages and placed this Srimad Bhagavatam. And Maharaj, this year Vaisheshika Prabhu's, our goal is to do 3000 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, and we need your blessings to do more villages. Please bless us so that we can reach the goal. Hare Krishna.
There's only over 600,000 villages still left in India. You can reach your... Right. So, it is very, I'm sure, similar activities and results are taking place in wherever actually devotees are preaching Krishna consciousness. So I'm very happy to see I was very touched actually. I don't know how many of you have seen it, but very touched by the very inspiring documentary short video that was made this morning, or that was shown this morning, about Antarctica and the penguins. Yeah. It was very, whoever did it, it's like a masterpiece, I would say. Very nicely done. Thank you. Yeah. It's like, Prabhupada's mission is meant to just reach all frontiers, and now we can rightly say, and that's part of the video, that Prabhupada's books, Bhagavatam, are on all the continents, isn't it? And that will simply increase by everyone's mercy. So I'm very thankful to all of you, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to spend a few minutes and get your kind association. Hare Krishna. Question, one quick question. I think we have a few minutes. Yes. Mic, we have a mic. Coming. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
So you said Prabhupada wanted to re-establish Varnashrama. So there are 4 Varnas, 4 Ashramas.
Yes.
So these 4 Varnas, what was Prabhupada's vision about dividing society? How do you divide society in 4 Varnas?
That same question Prabhupada received from one devotee, actually, one of his disciples many years ago. Because the devotee was wondering, how is this going to happen? How are we going to do this, Prabhupada? So here's Prabhupada's answer. Right? That's your question, right? Okay. So Prabhupada said, the typical Prabhupada answer, you just consider everyone as rascal. Prabhupada begins like that. I mean, just consider everyone as unqualified, which is, not difficult. Kalo Shudra Sambhava. And then, Prabhupada, he mentions, then you make a curriculum so that someone can actually become a qualified Brahmana, make another curriculum so that someone can become a qualified Kshatriya, and make a curriculum for someone to become a qualified Vaishya. That's what Varnashram College is all about. And then those who don't and then Prabhupada said, actually, once they pass through the different courses and whatnot, you designate them. Although we're not supposed to designate, but we are designating. I mean, we have Brahmanas within our society, we have sannyasis. So Prabhupada had this plan, which he gave us so many years ago, to establish an educational institution where systematically, based on Shastra, an individual will actually be recognized and known and qualified as either a Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya. And the rest of society are meant to help, because these are the natural leaders. Vedic culture is super wonderful because everything is very scientific, very practical. There are basically 2 types of people in society: natural leaders and natural followers. And there's a way by which one can actually develop as a natural leader through training and through education, as detailed in our Shastra. And so those who are, because we have different, this text I was just reading is speaking about Krishna and Balaram's education in Vrindavan, which is called non-formal education. Krishna doesn't go to Gurukul in Vrindavan. It's only when he leaves Vrindavan and goes to Mathura, then Vasudeva and Devaki, hey, you haven't gone to school. You are part of Kshatriya family and you didn't get it. So they sent him to, Sandipani Muni Ashram. So Krishna goes to Gurukul after he leaves Vrindavan. So this is the Vedic system of education. Only those who are actually qualified as either Brahmanas or Kshatriyas, they go for formal education, which is actually a very small percentage of society. Majority of people, they receive education, but through apprenticeship, through different skills, cottage industry, and especially, Prabhupada mentions here, this going every day of Krishna and Balaram with the cows. This is Vedic education. We are a long way from what is meant to be actual education. And that can only come about when we know and understand the importance of village life, because Vedic culture is primarily a village-based, cow-based culture and lifestyle.
Allowed to choose, Maharaj, then naturally they would gravitate towards the higher ashramas, isn't it? Like everyone would want
You
to
can
become
gravitate
Brahmana.
there, but if you don't have the qualifications, you're going to fall down. You won't be able to, it's a question of having the natural qualities and aptitudes.
By birth.
Not by birth. Birth is one, family lineage is better to explain that way. There are 4 criteria to actually determine the varna of an individual, and I won't get into it now because, but everything is nicely explained in our acharyas, beginning especially with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, including Srila Prabhupada. Gita Nagari essay, which was written by Srila Prabhupada in 1956, Back to Godhead magazine, Prabhupada speaks about varna selection. And in the Sojana Toshani, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also very nicely explains. So all of these things, if we study properly, nicely, Prabhupada's books and our Vaishnavacharya's books, then we will understand. And that's why it's so important to have Varnashram colleges where that knowledge is coming and shared or given by qualified individuals who are taking essentially that knowledge from the Vedic literatures. So, okay, one last question because it's already, Yes.
I don't have a question, I just some announcement, but
Okay,
give it
yeah.
a last question you can
No,
ask.
He's just reminding us, last question. So don't fight now over the mic.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So one question is so in this life you have to go to college and go to get a good job. So how does Varnashrama get us into those jobs?
I'll speak to you after the class.
I just had, Hare Krishna Maharaj, it was an amazing lecture. I just had a realization on the purport of the Bhagavatam text. And I was thinking about how people who are new to Krishna consciousness may think that it's unfair that the Kshatriyas and the Brahmanas get higher education, just like it might be with African Americans and white people, like the segregation. But in fact, actually, if Krishna is in it, it's kind of like a higher taste. Like the material thing is the material segregation, but it's actually, in Raja and Goloka, it's not what sets people down. It brings them up.
Yes. Actually, education is meant for everyone, but we think in modern day society that education is everyone's right, but actually education should be seen as a privilege. Brahmanas don't give knowledge to anybody and everybody. One has to deserve, and therefore when we follow the Vedic system, everyone can get education, but it will depend on their material situation and also their spiritual level of qualification. Yeah, very nice that you are appreciating Bhagavatam. Mike has to go back this way. Thank you.
Thank you for actually Jagannath Swami Prabhu is flagging his hand. So we'd like to actually welcome His Holiness Amaya Vilas Swami. He's also Prabhupada disciple.
Haribol.
Thank you. And also along with him, His Grace Jagannath Swami Prabhu is ISKCON Berkeley Temple President. Please welcome him also.
Haribol.
So Prabhu indicated 2 times here, as Maharaj has to give a class in ISKCON Berkeley, and he is ISKCON Berkeley Temple President, so he wants to be the entourage back to Berkeley. So he was asking us here can you make an adjustment to go to Maharaj? But yes. And before we hand it over, there are a couple of things, which is books by His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Swami Maharaj, speaking about Varnashram, foundational pillars of education, as you are asking. You can get the question answer. And my spiritual lamentation. What is this book? Varnashram education. Yes. So these books will be available outside. So you can, if you like to get something, you can get it. And in addition to that, Maharaj will be leaving for Berkeley. So if you wanted to get the signature later on, so he has some programs in the Bay Area. I think SKB Prabhu has posted it in the ISB Google. And Rampriya Prabhu, he's also coordinating along with Sandeep Prabhu about Maharaj's schedule. So you can get in touch with him. Also, you can sign up to join and get the signature on that day. Yeah. Anything, Vaisheshika Prabhu, I'd like to hand it over for thanking Maharaj, please.
Maharaj, thank you very much for coming to ISKCON of Silicon Valley again. It's been too long of a gap. We've missed you a lot. And in the meantime, we'll try to make progress towards your vision here at ISV. Made some small strides, but you've brought us great enthusiasm again just by seeing you and knowing how you're channeling Prabhupada's desires to the world, taking up a very specific aspect that he wanted to establish, and against so many odds. You're the personification of determination, and for us, you represent Srila Prabhupada's desire to have this done. So thank you very, very much for coming. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare.
Also, one last thing. If you could just utter a blessing that we can smash our goal of distributing at least 3,000 sets of Bhagavatams by the end of tonight.
Why not? Impossible is a word in the Fool's Dictionary. We've heard from Srila Prabhupada. So definitely all of us should make a tangible effort, a very determined effort to reach the various goals that have been set up. And you're already very exemplary and illustrious, so kindly continue to be exemplary in this way, and kindly follow in the footsteps of Vaisheshika Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Bhakti Raghava Swami ki.
Hare Krishna. And since we are leaving early, class will continue, and Vaisheshika Prabhu will lead the class after this. And also we want to announce anybody want to inspire to sponsor for villages, today we have Bhadra campaign fundraising. You can contact Malini Mataji. You can raise it. You can raise your hand. So Mataji, any villages, and I will request Maharaj to go personally to that village and place these Bhagavatam sets. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Nikula has sponsored 10 sets of Bhagavatams for the villages. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Welcome back, everyone. We're at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. If you made a wrong turn and came in the building, please stay. We're going to have movie hour now. As Maharaj mentioned this morning, we showed for the first time publicly a video about, it's a documentary, very short one, about us penetrating Antarctica and putting sets of Bhagavatams there and how the journey was carried out, much by the help of Nandini Kishori. And Madan Gopal Prabhu has put together a documentary. It has been through several iterations of editing, and because of time, I just said, let's bring it out. There's a few little parts that need to still be edited. Please don't mind. And maybe if I didn't tell you, you won't notice. I think there's a slight issue with the sound because we had two different versions that at the last minute we had to put together, because this morning we had an international Zoom call hosted with guest speakers, Holiness Jayapataka Swami and Janananda Swami and Bhakti Raghav Swami, as he mentioned, and then a host of other devotees from around the world, various continents. So having given that disclaimer, if you have the video, let's just watch it. But don't mind.
Impossible is a word often associated with the perseverance needed to withstand the vast and isolated landscape of Antarctica. But for devotees who know of Krishna's limitless mercy, it's no surprise that they become empowered to achieve just that. The impossible.
Today, the organisation is marking its half-centenary doing what it's known for.
When devotees met with Vaisheshika Maharaj to plan for the celebration of the Vajra Purnima Marathon Festival, he jokingly began the meeting by suggesting Srimad Bhagavatam sets be delivered to Antarctica before the festival. His jocular suggestion was enough to spark determination in the devotees. 4 days to complete the task seemed like the impossible, but feeling empowered, they took his request to heart. 6 years earlier, devotees had placed pocket editions of Bhagavad Gita as it is in Antarctica research-based libraries, but the challenge of delivering 17-volume hardbound sets of Srimad Bhagavatam was quickly proving to be more difficult than the devotees had imagined.
First, the stuff goes on the cargo ship with the ministry's permission. It goes from Goa to Cape Town. It takes about 6 weeks. From Cape Town, it goes in the storage for a month. The helicopter are sent to figure out if Antarctica is ready for the ships to come. After that, a ice cutting ship is sent first, and then the cargo gets loaded, and then it is brought to Antarctica. It's a long journey. There's no internet in Antarctica, so if you wanted to send them a message, it takes few days.
Even with a workable internet speed, the process of delivering would, at the very minimum, be a 4-month endeavor. Their hopes of planting the flag on Antarctic soil seemed over before they had even begun to attempt it. But now, all joking aside, Vaishesha insisted they try one last time, as there was no guarantee of tomorrow.
I heard from Shishika Prabhu that he wanted to have Srimad Bhagavatam placed around all the world, then around all continents. There is one man that he have different libraries around Argentina. I called him and he told me in the past they sent some things. He told me, I will be in Buenos Aires and I will present in the Argentina National Senate. He told me, yes, so you can come also.
And so 55 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam found their way into the National Senate of Argentina.
And I also saw one man, Captain Luis Cortez, show him the books. He was very, very kind. And he said, yes, we can do it.
And then into the hands of a foreign military through bone-freezing weather, across vast stretches of icy landscape, and off the grid, seemingly impenetrable roadblocks, uplifting all along the way, and finally crossing into Antarctica, the last frontier.
Yeah, that part at the end, the sound, it jumped. That's an anomaly that's going to be fixed. So hopefully by tomorrow, we'll have the video all set up so that if you want to share it anywhere for your Bhadra Purnima promotions, you can pass it out and give it to other people. It just shows the miracles that happen when we try. Srila Prabhupada didn't know exactly what would happen when he tried, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened the door to him to the whole world. And we may seem insignificant, or there may seem to be obstacles that are insurmountable, but there are no obstacles that cannot be overcome if one takes the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and just tries. We have 19 days left till Bhadra Purnima. Bhadra Purnima is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself in the 12th canto. It says there that one who gives the great gift of a Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne on Bhadra Purnima, that is the full moon night in the month of Bhadra, gets the return gift of going back home, back to Godhead. Several years ago, when we were brainstorming on January 1st, which we often do here at ISV, we recalled that verse and said, it's been in front of us for a long time, and we didn't know that it would. We realized at that time, Lord Chaitanya revealed it to us, that this could become a fulcrum of power for a worldwide movement to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, and indeed it has. The first couple of years, we distributed worldwide 7,000 sets of Bhagavatams, which was a significant increase from what had been done previously, because even in America, over a whole year's time, only about 150 were going out. And I can remember at ISV when we were on Bascom, and we had an impromptu Sankirtan meeting in the parking lot, and we were distributing maybe 50 a year, and we said someday we will distribute at least 500. Now before us is our goal of 3,000, because not only have we at ISV increased our scope and ability, but all over the world, we went from 7,000, and remarkably during the pandemic, when after I promised at the GBC meeting in Tirupati in 2019, that we would achieve our global goal of distributing at least 10,000 sets of Bhagavatams, which was seemed an onerous task from 7,000 to 10 at that time. And then the pandemic started. And then many people said, well, maybe we'll just wait till it's over. However, there were several devotees who said, no, we should push forward because anything can happen. And as we did, we discovered that actually it was more fruitful than ever before. And we passed that information on to others. And I can remember the Zoom call that we were on. We had just talked to one of the leaders in India who said, maybe not this year, we're just going to let everybody lay low. And then we said, no, it's bigger than ever. And he said, really? And we got on the Zoom call, and most of the people who had joined were, by the hundreds, were ready to just pack it in and wait. But some people were speculating the pandemic would last about 3 months. And we said, no, it's really taking off now, of all times. And then we watched the countenances of everybody on the call change as they heard that it was all possible now. And in that year, we had a huge breakthrough. And we didn't distribute 10,000. We distributed 23,000 sets during the pandemic. Then we thought maybe that's a fluke, because that's what we think every year. So again, we set, and we went up to 35,000, and then just last year, again, we reached our goal of 45,000 sets of Bhagavatams worldwide. Now, why are we pushing so hard? Well, Prabhupada pushed us hard. And Lord Chaitanya ordered everybody to cover the earth with Krishna consciousness. And another reason is because we've set a goal for 2026, which is to distribute at least 100,000 sets of Srimad Bhagavatams worldwide, which we consider a reasonable base to start from, so that then we can cover the earth, 100,000. Considering the billions of people on the planet, that's a small number to ask for, don't you think? Everybody should say yes. Yes. Yeah. So to keep up with that pace, we have to get about a 20% increase every year. That's why ISV has stepped up to the 3,000 sets of Bhagavatams. That's more than most continents of all of Europe, and everywhere else except for India does combinedly. So that's from this one center here. We have multiple streams and ways of getting Bhagavatam sets out to others. And as you just saw from the video that Sri Krishna Purushottam showed, they're actually landing in places all over the world. Let's speak of the lion's share goes here in the Bay Area. But everywhere they go, they have their impact. There's no way that a set of Bhagavatams lands and doesn't have a huge impact on somebody's house, on a business, on a village, on the life of the person who receives it, because that's how potent it is. And Prabhupada said it himself when he was on the Jaladuta. On his way to America, he led the charge with the Srimad Bhagavatam and said, by this vibration, we will change the hearts of the people and we will change the world. It is meant, after all, tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin prati shlokam avadyavatyapi namanyanantasya shonkitani yat shrinvanti gayanti grananti sadhava. It's meant to create a revolution. in the impious lives of the world's misdirected civilization. And as soon as people come in contact with the Bhagavatam, they're able to derive religious principles. It says so in the Bhagavatam itself. By associating with the Bhagavatam, you take on the qualities of Krishna, because the Bhagavatam is Krishna. No difference. Krishneswa damo pagate dharmaganadi bisaha kalonashcha drishamesha purarnarko danodita. Just after Krishna left, what were we going to do when Krishna leaves? Bhagavatam appeared. And you can take advantage of the Bhagavatam for that reason. And you can pass it on to others and do the greatest benefit for other people. We have an Artik in a few minutes, right? Okay. There's been festivals, I don't know what day it is, Swami's coming and going, program starts again. So forgive me for being a little disoriented, but here's a plan. Let's have Artik together and think about the number 3,000 Bhagavatams. And also, when we finish the Artik, I have a video. Nothing wrong with the sound on that one. And it's fantastic. It's we just dropped that one yesterday too. And it's so enlivening that I don't think you should watch it, actually. I'm thinking of not showing it. It's too ecstatic. No, we can't do it. It's too good. If anybody promises not to call the police out of ecstasy, don't call 911 when you see the video, then we'll show it to you right after we finish the Artik, and then we'll have like a 5-10 minute discussion, of like a brainstorming session about how we can, between now and the 29th of September, complete our goal, let's say smash, of distributing at least 3,000 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. Does that sound like a fair plan? Yes. Okay, 1/3 of you said yes. Yes. Okay, that was about 78%. So let's try it. We'll now rearrange the room. This is going to turn into a Hare Krishna dance party. So we'll put all the seats away, any obstruction, the floor is wide open for you. We'll roll up this carpet, and then the women on this side, men on that side, free roam. We'll keep a little aisle open in the middle if it's not too crowded. And then please feel the dance to your full satisfaction to the kirtan, and then we'll meet afterwards. Thank you very much, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Do you think we'll ever go back down?
I don't know.
Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. It's all you, all you.
Deve Gauravani Tusharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Ishakarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Sai Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privraj Kacharya Stotra Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. You can sit or stand, it's okay, either way. Ananta Koti Vaishnavini Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Praise the whole Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopavina Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Jona Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Samveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Thank you for coming, everyone. I hope some of you had the opportunity to be here for Janmashtami. Did anybody come here on Krishna's birthday? We were up past midnight. No one wanted to go home. Too much fun. Just now, I'll just take a few minutes to, we have a short film for your viewing enjoyment. So sit back, relax, cool down. In just a little while, we're going to be feeding everybody, not just in this temple room, but anybody in the county or in the greater Bay Area. So you can call any of your friends, tell them to transport down here. And for now, we're going to start off with talking about the Srimad Bhagavatam marathon that's going on all over the planet right now called Bhadra Purnima, which is to give the gift of knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam to people everywhere in many different languages. Please go ahead.
Can't you hear the calling of that oceanic force? The battle cries abounding, the golden lions roar. 'Cause I can't deny it anymore. It's bursting through my core. I wanna knock on every door. Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur. I can't be satisfied. I feel it deep inside. The lion-hearted battle cry. Just touch the pavement. The people deserve it. It's time to cover the world. Can't you hear the calling? That oceanic force. The battle cries are pounding. The golden lions roar. 'Cause I can't deny it anymore. It's bursting through my core. I wanna knock on every door. Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur. Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur. Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur.
Hare Krishna. How was the video? Were you all able to see the Antarctica video as well? Wow. Once, the moment I saw the video, I almost teared up because the Antarctica was so powerful. And the first time I saw, I teared up, but this time I saw, maybe I already saw it, but it's so touching. So that's what we do here at ISV, under the guidance of His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu. We try to see that Bhagavatam is placed every place, every continent, and now we can say that Antarctica is covered. Check mark. And it's only possible because here at ISV, all of you have given your hearts and souls, you have poured out your donations so that we could place these Bhagavatams everywhere in the world. And today you also saw His Holiness Bhakti Raghav Maharaj also mention that the books that you're sponsoring, what kind of effect it's making on people. In villages, people are reading them, not just for 5 minutes, but 1.5 hours every day. They finished the 10th until 10th Canto Part 2, which is a great testimony, and they're sharing their realizations also. And last year also we played another video of a village in Maharashtra, where a simple lady from Maharashtra, she started reading and collected some friends of hers, and then in the evening she used just to read Srimad Bhagavatam, and then slowly attracted the devotees, and now there are hundreds of devotees in that village as well. So there are many success stories around the world. One we shared from India. Similarly, we have some from South America. We shared a video last time. I don't know if everybody was there, but if time permits, we can show that as well. We sent some sets to South America where people there could not afford to buy a Srimad Bhagavatam set, especially devotees. And when they received, they sent so many gratitude messages. I mean, that was covered in the video. Probably we can play if the time permits. But at this time, we wanted to open it up because our Bhadra Purnima is on 28th of September here in US and 29th of September in India. So between now and 28th or 29th of September, we want to reach or smash our goal of at least 3,000 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So we are requesting, it's a brainstorming at the same time, a request that if you would like to sponsor a set of Bhagavatam to India or other countries, it is $200. But if you want to sponsor for someone within US or Ukraine, it is $250. So if you can, we also have these pledge cards that will be passed to everybody. If you're shy to raise your hand, or if you would like to write down, so there's a pencil and a card that will be passed down to you. You can write down your name and all the information, and then you can hand it over to Kumari Leela, the one she's passing there. Kumari Leela, if you can raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. And I don't know if you saw the video that His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu made. It's a simple formula that